Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode here on the MIgardener channel. I'm so excited to be filming today. It's a beautiful, bright day out, so I'm so glad to be able to sit here in the garden and bring an episode to you all that is hopefully going to help everyone out. This episode is going to be kind of in our continued series. It's not really like a specific series, but we wanted to do a series on organic pest controls and how we maintain a pest-free garden, or a relatively pest-free garden, while remaining 100% organic. Very strict organic too, mind you. So as you know, we have done the diatomaceous earth episode, and that's one of the ones in this series. And what I wanted to do was show you all how we maintain a pest-free garden simply by planting lots of plants. Now you might be saying to yourself, how on earth does planting lots of plants result in a pest-free garden? And I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. But I'm going to break it down by first starting off that plants all have their own chemical scent. You know, when you walk up next to a girl and or a guy for that matter, and you, oh, I like that scent. I want to date you. That's how it worked with Cindy. But no, I'm being serious. There's actually scientific proof that certain plants give off certain chemical traces. And what happens is if we plant in what's considered a monoculture, which is basically everything all in one bed that is all the same variety and the same, the same type, it's all going to give off the same chemical scent. And what happens is if the plant is stressed from heat or stressed from lack of water, stressed from being root bound, any type of stressor, the plant actually gives off a scent that will actually attract bugs like aphids and cutworms and tomato hornworms, any type of pest that really likes to eat your plants, Japanese beetles. The list goes on and on and on, but the most common is aphids that I have found. Aphids and whiteflies just hone in on plants that are slightly stressed, and they're typically planted in a monoculture. And now you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't have a monoculture. I don't have I don't have what you'd consider a monoculture, but I really want you to look in your garden and see if maybe you are creating a monoculture. Here in the MIgardener garden, we have a slight monoculture, but it's just diverse enough so we can have beds with certain themes, like a tomato bed or a pepper bed or whatever. But we've planted enough plants to be biologically diverse that what happens is the pests cannot pick up on those slight scents. The plants are never going to be growing in their optimal conditions, ever. I can guarantee you that. No matter what we do here in the garden, no matter how good the soil is or how much fertilizer we put in, these plants were never intended to grow in this specific spot. That's why they don't come back year after year. They just weren't intended to grow here. And so those plants are going to be more stressed, and they're going to give off those chemical scents. But one way you can combat that is, like I said, by having the diversity, by planting things that kind of mask each other's scents. And there's really no specific way to do it, and that's the best part. As you'll see, I'll walk around to some beds and I'll kind of point out what we're doing to add some biodiversity into the garden. It does a lot of things though. It brings in different pollinators to your garden, because a lot of pollinators won't seek out a specific food type. They'll like to kind of bounce from flower to flower. It also, again, helps with the chemical masking. So you'll have, let's say a mint plant next to your squash plants. And so squash vine borers might never find your squash plants because they cannot pick up on the scent of squash. And that's really what they need, is a squash plant in order to reproduce. So if they can't tell where a squash plant is, they'll never land there. And so that's just a very small example. You'll see what we're kind of doing as we walk through, but I wanted to bring that to you because that's what we're doing here primarily. We rarely have to, and I will state, we rarely have to use any other type of organic-based pesticide. When we do videos like the one with the diatomaceous earth, that's giving you an example of something that you can do, because I realize not everyone can not everyone can do this. Not everyone wants to do this. So I'm giving you all options, and I like options. So let's go. Let's check out what we got going on. I'll show you the plants. I'll show you the different combinations we got going on, so maybe you can emulate. But again, mix it up. Mix it up. I never say that I have the foolproof way here. I like to just test things out. I'm a scientific kind of guy. I like to test things out and see what works, see what doesn't, and I learn from trial and error, and I learn from past experiences as well. So it's good. It's all fun, and I'm loving the results. I don't see any pests. I see, well, a few. I mean, you're always going to get a few. Don't get me wrong, but it looks great. So go on, check this out. So this first one here is about as classic of a companion planting as you can get. This is a whole bed of marigolds and peppers. And as you can see, the peppers are doing great. The marigolds are doing great. And as I zoom in here, you'll see that they are just coexisting perfectly fine. And we've got them in a nice pattern that's easy on the eyes. All the while, they're actually working to kind of prevent the pests together. Another thing we have a lot of in the garden is herbs. Herbs are very fragrant, they're very aromatic, and pests don't typically like your herbs. So we have stuff like a lot of our basil. I mean, they're just looking amazing, right? Looking phenomenal. And we have those there so that as the wind blows, you know, you got coming over here, you have another herb bin, and what's that? Another herb bin. So we've kind of also interplanted our beds so that when you come over here with like your broccolis, these are just plagued by pests. And I want to show you up close so I can show you that we're really not having pest problems. They come in, they take a little bite, and they're gone. So they don't want to stay. They can't really identify what plant it is because they can't pick up on that chemical scent. So check this out. So as you can see here, absolutely no netting. I know people that they simply cannot grow plants without netting. But look at this, these are our Brussels sprouts, phenomenal plants. I mean, look at how big these leaves. I've never seen Brussels sprout leaves this big. They're huge. And I mean, look at that. It's just insane. You get a little pest, a little bug bite right there, a little bug bite right there, you know, but look, they're not staying around. They're not sticking around. They're not on the undersides of leaves. And you know, they're not here. They're just not here. They've left. So you come over here, check this out. Broccoli. Who has broccoli like this that does not have any pest holes? I mean, look at this. It's looking phenomenal, folks. No bug bites, none at all. And I'm telling you that this method works because again, look at over here. All that is basil, tons of basil. The basil's looking amazing. Coming over here to your kale. Who has kale like this without any bug bites? No bug bites, nothing, not a single bug bite. A little bug bite right there, it'll still taste like kale. But look at this, amazing, amazing. Squash vine borers, no squash vine borers here. We also plant things like onions. This is a solid onion bed. Not many pests come for onions, but it is a great plant to interplant. So what we've done is we've actually come over here. You'll see that we've actually interplanted in our herb bin, which again, you know, isn't a great companion plant because herbs basically are a great pest deterrent. So onions are also a great pest deterrent. So naturally, but you can do this with any plant. I mean, like for instance, you could have put onions with your tomatoes. You could have put onions with your broccoli. You could have put onion, you know, mix your onions in, interplant those in your plants and see how we've done that. So see, we've actually interplanted the onions in there. Not only do you get more production out of your space, but they're working together to make a pest-free garden. And see here, again, just another small example, but look, got marigolds here, beautiful Cracker Jack mix marigolds with our potatoes. Normally you get riddled holes in your potatoes from potato beetles, and we've gotten a few, you know, we've gotten a few over there where, again, it's a little more of a monoculture, but that monoculture is not, it's not really, it's not as bad as it could be. We don't have many pests over there. It's really looking good, actually, but these actually are the best. And I can tell you why. It's because we have marigolds here. We have marigolds here. We got basil right there. We got basil right there. We've got over here, we've got onions right there. So the scent is kind of drafting through this entire garden. So even if like this right here, this might not be, you know, the most ideal thing either, but even if this wasn't here and this was just all tomatoes like our tomato bed over there, we just don't have problems. We don't have pest problems. But this is, again, a great prime example. We got basils here, marigolds here, right all down the center, and we have tomatoes on each side. Perfect way to keep down pests. They are great for keeping down aphids, and rabbits don't like them. I mean, come on, Who's gonna, oh, come on, look at that. That's beautiful, right? Looks awesome. And plus, they're edible. Eat your marigolds, folks. Coming over here, you know, again, prime example. We got ourselves some borage. This just brings in the pollinators, the good pollinators that we're looking for. Last example here I'll give you is, again, look at the cabbage. You have oh, I'm speechless. Look at this cabbage. I mean, come on, that's huge. Not a single bug bite. Not a single bug bite, because look, we got red cabbage there, different variety. We have celery there, a clearly different variety. This cabbage here, the borage here, oregano in the corners over there, and we got different types of kale here. You know, you got red Russian kale, you have lacinato kale, and you have all your different types of Swiss chard, your reds and your yellows. All those are different varieties that give off different scents and different chemical traces. So there you go. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you all learned something new. I certainly prefer this method over anything, because this is really the way nature works. And nature does not have someone coming through and spraying neem oil or diatomaceous earth. And as much as I love those methods, and I definitely advocate using those over some of the other methods out there, you can still harm some of your beneficial insects using, let's say, neem oil. Neem oil does not pick and choose what it harms. So if you spray some bees, they're going to be just as affected as an aphid. Diatomaceous earth, you know, it's a little safer because it only picks out those hard-bodied insects, but still, you know, you can harm some of your ladybugs and good stuff like that. So really, I like to, if at all possible, go the most natural route possible, and I seem to have great results. I absolutely love the results that I'm getting, and hopefully you do as well. So I recommend trying it. Let me know in the comments box below the results that you have if you've been trying this, and thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all are having a great day, and just make the best out of every day. I love coming out here, and it recharges my batteries. So I'll talk to you all later. Hopefully you all are having a great day. Hopefully you all are growing bigger, going home. And this is Luke from the MIgardener channel. See ya. Bye.